Alright, welcome to our first video from the topic graphs and their features. Remember that every single one of these exercises are going to be taken from the book International Mathematics 2. And today we're going to answer to question number 4 from this topic, graphs and their features. And it says, refer to the sector graph on page 204 that refers to Malta's water consumption. Which category was responsible for the greatest water production? Okay, something that is very useful about the graphs is that it can provide a lot of information in short space and with not too much elements. So here it's very easy to see that the answer for part A will be RO plants productions. So it's not hard to see because it's a very easy to visualize it. So RO plants are responsible for the greatest water production on Malta Island. Now, for part B, we must answer this. Are you able to say how much water was produced by springs? Why or why not? Okay, as we can see here, springs production is very small, is 0.1%, but we cannot say in terms of liters or cubic meters how much water was produced by springs. It's not possible, and that is one of the mistakes that this graph has. It is not providing the amount of water produced in the island of Malta. It's just giving percentages, and that's it. And it's not giving information about the amount of water. So here we can say that it's not possible because we don't have the amount of water. We don't have information about the amount of water, and that is something that every graph must have enough information so we can make some calculations if we need it. Alright, now it comes a part of the calculations. This time we must answer this question. What angle at the center should be allocated to the borehole production? Has it been? Is the graph accurate? And for that we must work with angles. Now if we want to work with angles, we must use let's see, where is it, this instrument. It's very useful, and with it we can measure the angles. Alright, so here it says that boreholes production are responsible of the 16.6% of the water production on the island of Malta. So what we must see if that angle is correct. So how can we do that? Alright, it's simple. First of all, let's move on with part C, and here we can use simple rule of 3. We can say that if 100% corresponds to 360 degrees, remember that this pie chart, it's a complete circle, and every complete circle has 360 degrees. So if 100% is equal to the 360 degrees, how much is going to be 16.6%? That it is our unknown. We don't know how much angles that is going to be. So we have to solve that, and in this case we must do this. 16.6 multiplied by 360. And all of that divided by 100. Oh, I almost forget something. And you shouldn't. Don't forget the percentages. Okay, I'm going to erase these. 16.6. %. Alright, so as you can see there, we must multiply 16.6 by 360 and then divide it by 100. And how can we do that? Okay, and here we have to multiply a decimal by an integer, and we can change that decimal into a fraction. I'm gonna do that here, and I'm going to transform that 16.6 in the fraction 166 tenth multiplied by the fraction 360 first. Alright, so 166 multiplied by 360 is gonna be, give me just a couple of minutes, 59,760. And 10 multiplied by 1 is gonna be 10. Now we can cancel here 1 0 with another 0, and the answer is going to be 5,976. Now we're going to take that result here. X is going to be equal to. Alright, here we can cancel both percentages, and what is going to remain is the degrees. Okay, in the numerator we have 5,976 divided by 100. Don't forget that the unit that remained was the degree. Alright, now we must solve this, and for that we have to divide. Don't forget that every fraction is also a division, and since we're dividing a 1 followed by 2 zeros, what we have to do is just move the decimal point, two places, 1 and 2. That will be 59.76%. Alright, that must be the angle for the red part, for the part of the borehole's production. Now, is that going to be true? Okay, we have to take a look at that. I'm going to move the graph so it will be easier to measure that angle. And what you have to do is match the center of this with the center of the graph. Sorry. Just like that. Okay, and you can do this with a ruler. I can do this with this tiny instrument. We can measure the angle, and as we can see, the angle right here is not 59.76 degrees. In fact, it's 68.5 degrees. What that doesn't mean? Well, it means that this graph is completely wrong, or at least the part of the borehole's production. In fact, if I move it a little bit here to make it perfect, All right, there we have it. We have 68.5 degrees, not the 59.76 degrees that we need. So what it means is that this graph is completely wrong. All right. Now, part D is asking what angle at the center should be allocated to pumping stations. All right, this time we gotta do the same, but now we can't forget that pumping stations production is equal to 26.4%. So let's start with part D, and once again we're going to use the rule of 3. That is, if 100% is equal to 360 degrees, how much is going to be 26.4%. That is going to be our unknown. Once again, in order to get the value of x, we must multiply 26.4% by 360 degrees, and that is going to be divided by 100%. All right, we can cancel both percentages right there. Now we have to multiply 26.4 by 360. Once again, we're going to change that decimal into a fraction, and that will be 264 tenths multiplied by 360 first. All right, let's see. And now let's multiply 264 multiplied by 360 is going to be equal to 95,040 and 10 multiplied by 1 is going to be equal to 10. We can cancel 1 0 in the numerator and another 0 in the denominator, and what we're going to have is 9,504. Don't forget that every fraction with 1 as a denominator is in fact an integer. Alright, so I'll continue what I was doing right here, trying to get the value of x, and in the numerator I have 9,504 degrees. Don't forget that is the unit that remained, and in the denominator I still have 100. Since every fraction is also a division, I have to divide, but I'm dividing by a 1 followed by 2 zeros. That means that I have to move the point 2 places, and that will be right there, 1 and 2, 95.04 degrees. Okay, is that the angle that the pumping station has? We have to prove it. Once again, I'm going to move this a little bit. There it's gonna be good for me. No, wait, I'm gonna move it here. There, it's better. Now I'm gonna use this once again. I'm gonna make it a little bigger for us. And all right, there we have it. We have to match the center of the instruments with the center of the pie chart. All right, so, and I must match the edge of the instrument with the edge of that sector, of the green sector this time. I'm gonna move this until I match it with the other edge of this sector, and as you can see here, the angle is equal to 70.4 degrees, when in fact it should be 95.04. So what we can say about part C and part D, that this graph is not accurate after all. It's not correct, it's in fact wrong. So well, that's it for this video. I hope you could understand it. As you can see here, it's very important to know how to work with angles in this kind of graphs, the pie chart or sector graph, as you will. Well, that will be all for this video. I hope you could understand it. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.